Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop and welcome to part 2 of the Banjolele build project. Okay, so in the first episode I basically introduced the project and showed you what I've done so far because after recording the first 2 videos of this project I lost those videos due to a corrupted SD card. So the files are gone. So I'm basically starting again. So this is part 2, and in part 1, I was showing how obviously where I got to so far with the bodies, you know, the curving inside, and with the necks. I'm having to extend the neck by putting a block on the end of the neck. So that's what it's looking like. You can see obviously where the extension is. This is the neck that I had already painted, but obviously you can see I'm going to have to redo it. I didn't think ahead with that. Plugged up the holes with some doweling and glued in. And I said the next stage was to cut the sort of the dish shape in here to fit the profile of the Banjolele body, and also the neck angle backwards, but also making sure that it's, you know, right side to side as well. Well, I haven't started that yet because again I thought, wait a minute, there's something else I need to do first before I do that, which is attach the fretboard. I've got to put the fretboard on first before I start doing all that shaping, because you know the fretboard is part of it and that needs to be cut as well. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so let's just angle down. So attaching the fretboard to the neck. It's a relatively easy process. I mean, any of you who does any kind of wood gluing will know that, you know, when you've got 2 flat surfaces like this, and then you glue and clamp it together, it slides around all over the place. Well, there's a very simple carpenter's trick to overcome that, which I will show you right now. So what I need is these 2 very small brad nails, and all I do, let me just get a neck support. All I do is, you see right there. So at the top end, I'll nail one into the top of the neck, off to one side. So just make sure that the neck is supported first. Make sure it goes in straight. There you go. It's not in all the way, about 1/3 of the way in. And then I'll take the other nail and put towards the bottom end of the neck, over to the other side. Okay, so just get that one started. Again, about 1/3 of the way in. Now what I do is I take my cutters and cut the top of the nail off, leaving about 2 or 3 millimeters sticking up. That's one. And 2. Okay, so you just see there's a little bit of each nail sticking up. Okay, so now I put the fretboard on the neck, line it up, and then I press down onto those nails so it makes a mark in the back of the fretboard. So I have to make sure that I've got it properly lined up first before I do that. Right in the centre of the neck. This is the most crucial part, because once I've done this, that's where it's going basically. Okay, so that looks about right at the top. So I'll just press that down now onto that nail. Okay, and then line up the bottom end. Okay. Okay, and then press down onto that lower nail. That one slipped off. Okay. Right, I'm happy with that alignment. Yeah, I can just about see, you won't be able to see, but I can just about see the marks where those nails were. So now, I take a drill with a 1.5mm drill bit in it and drill out those holes a little bit deeper. Being careful not to go right through the fretboard, obviously. That will be a disaster. Where's that other one? I can't see it now. Tiniest little mark. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I've now drilled those holes a little bit deeper in the back of there. So now we should be able to locate on those pins. There's the top one. There we go. So that's locked onto those pins. Now it won't go anywhere. So when I glue it up, it will stay still. Right, so I need clamps and I need leather pads. I need 8 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wood glue and a paintbrush, so I can find a paintbrush. That's not much good. One, okay. Right, so now I'll put the glue onto the back of the fretboard and to the top of the neck. Okay, so I want quite a bit of glue. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? Not too much, and I want 100% coverage. I'm just going to mark where the end of that fretboard is, so I don't put too much glue on. Okay, so glue on the back of the fretboard. Mess again. Okay, so spread it out nice and evenly. 100% coverage. So we get the little lumps out. Actually, I'm not going to put glue on the neck as well. This will be enough. I don't want too much squeeze out. Makes a real mess to clean up afterwards. Okay, so that should be fine. I'll just put a tiny bit more on, top end. Okay. Right. So I've got to work fairly quickly. So now I'll locate the fretboard onto those pins, hopefully. Locked on the top one. That's it. Got it? Okay, so I'm just going to squeeze it with my hands first to get some of that glue squeeze out, cleaned up before I clamp it up. don't want too much to have to clean up afterwards because it's a bit difficult around these fretboards. It's got to be really, really clean, and I'll show you why later at a different stage of the build. Okay, right, so as I said, with those pins in there, that neck is, the fretboard is not sliding around on the neck. It's holding nicely in place, which is good. That's what I want. Okay, so I start to clamp it up. So I always use these leather pads, especially when clamping on fretboards, just to protect everything. But also on the back of the neck, because this is quite soft wood, the neck of these ukulele necks, and obviously the fretboard as well is quite soft. I don't want to risk causing any damage. I can move on a little bit more. I want it to be in the centre. Okay. Just get that bit of glue squeeze out there. Okay, on the other end. Once again, I want to make sure it's all centered. We get even pressure. Looks good. Right, 2 more clamps. It's at least a 3-handed job, this really, but I've only got 2, so I'll make do. Oh, no. The clamp's broken. Okay, the other one. Yeah, not a good time for that to be happening. Never mind. Actually, it's not broken. It's lost the screw out the end of it. So I have to try and find that, but not right now. All right. So I have to find another clamp. Actually, I can use this one. This is a good clamp. It's already got leather pads on there, but I'm going to put extra ones just to be on the safe side. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay. So, yeah, that's all gone on nicely. All clamped down. There's a little bit of glue squeeze out. I won't worry. I'll try and clean up a bit as best I can. Not too much. It's just a few bubbles. Yeah. I just lost the screw out the end of it. I'm sure it'll be in the box somewhere, so I'll find that later. No problem. Okay, so that's that fretboard glued on, and here's one I prepared earlier. Oh, I need to plug in. My battery's about to die. Don't want that to happen. 1 second. Please don't die. Yeah, so this is one that I've already, this is the other one that I've already done, put the fretboard on. And you may remember that on the neck before I had to mark this curve, which I've obviously redone on the fretboard to show me where to cut. And I've also put this big silver line along this front edge here, because when I'm sanding this with the contour in there, it's going to be at a slight angle, so I get my break angle, and so you know what, once I've sanded enough that line disappears, I know that I've got the the angle there, and it's all straight. And to help me with that, the right angle whilst I'm sanding, I've just made up this block. 2 blocks of wood. I already had this curved piece of wood from something else I cut out, so I'll just tape these 2 pieces of wood together for the right height, and I put some cork on the top, and that neck will rest in there. So that gives me the right height for the angle whilst I'm contouring this end here, which I think, because of time and battery, might be the next episode. So at this stage, I've got the fretboards on, and I've got this one marked out ready to cut the contour for the shape of the banjolele body. Shouldn't be, I say it shouldn't be too difficult, but the difficulty will be getting it accurate, because as I said in the first episode, I have to sort of shape it on 3 axes at the same time. So I need that curve to be the right radius. I need the break angle on the neck, and I also need to make sure that it's right side to side as well. So I've got to bear all of that in mind. So I'm cutting 3 axes at the same time, and it's going to be a bit tricky, and I can't really measure and mark with measuring equipment and stuff, because it's all curves and it's not straight lines. You've got taper here, and this is all curved, and I've got to cut a curve, so there's no precise and accurate way of measuring it. So I'm pretty much doing it by eye, by hand, by the seat of my pants. So, and as I said, I've done them before, and they've turned out all right. So, that's going to be where I'll do it. But that's going to be part 3. Let me think what else I will need to do as well. Oh, so you can see that this fretboard is now flush with the end of this neck. So obviously I'll be doing the same with this one, cut off that end piece. Because unlike a ukulele, where the fretboard continues over the top of the body, banjoleles, they don't. The fretboard stops at the edge of the body, because the fretboard needs to be at the same level as the body. Banjos and banjoleles are built differently to ukuleles and guitars and things. So the way they're designed is the fretboard stops at the edge of the body at the same level, which is, is different. So that's going to be the next part 3, and it's fairly tricky, and it's been a little bit time consuming, because I've got to do it a bit at a time, sneak up on it, make sure I don't go too far, because we'll end up with the coffee table effect again, the coffee table syndrome, whatever you want to call it. And I don't want that, because I want to remove as little length off of these necks as possible, because I've already extended the length, and there's a very good reason for that, which will become clear later. So I want to take as little length off the neck as possible. Okay, so if you're enjoying this new project, Banjoleles, please give a like, leave a comment. If you haven't already subscribed, why not? Do so now, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, share with friends and family, etc. I'll top back in my glue before that dries up. and yeah, we'll continue this journey together. So in the meantime, look after yourselves, look after each other. We will see you in part 3. Peace out.